Greetings to the first episode in our discovery of income classes and their impact on our lives. Have you ever had a sense of frustration, when it came to money, contemplating how some people flipped the switch on their lives and got a better one, and how did others end up with a lousy one? You're not alone. In this video, we'll look at different income levels and the realities of being a single parent, not just the present stereotype of a single parent's income. We're going to talk to people who had gone from being multimillionaires and billionaires and learn from them how such a journey from rags to riches is possible. At the center of this journey is the mindset towards performance and thriving irrespective of the hardship involved. At the end of this video, you will know your financial position and what you have to do to advance out of it. Well, are you ready to change your financial position tomorrow? So let's begin this enlightening journey with a blog post immediately. In the case of income classes, for instance, one is often tempted to imagine three distinctive categories only: low, middle, high. Without a doubt, there is so much more to healthy functioning than this rather simple model implies. Blindly following traditional thought process may lead to failure to notice the variations and steps in income levels that can determine success and personal development. For instance, a person might consider him or herself middle class and would be at a different level of economic security and coherence. This broader view enables individuals to look at their current context and come up with a different and improved life at the same time. When these classes are understood, one can find out their position and what to do when trying to better their position financially. To many people, this is akin to having a blueprint for a better tomorrow whereby generation of income is not a dream but an achievement. It is advisable to accept the pressure that reforms a company when one aims at achieving financial growth. Thus, it is time to focus on these levels of income and find out how each stage contributes to our interaction experience and opportunities range. It is important to know the different income level not just on the qualitative sense, but also it is learned and influenced personal observation, as well as those of multimillionaires and billionaires. Most people like to discuss their successes and explain how they went through different financial levels. For instance, look at the case of a young man who began his business with just an idea and passion to change. The one thing that you are guaranteed to come away with from either of them is a lesson in persistence regardless of the outcome and the mental attitude needed to succeed. From those who once enjoyed such an income level, and then stepped up or down, it is easier to understand all the differences between these levels. It is about the lessons which are hidden in concrete defeat, a notion which proclaims that life itself is nothing but a progress toward the better life we all strive. However, the kindred stories that also emerge from it develop a culture of comradeship because no one is alone in the fight. Therefore, as we go deeper into these levels, let it be in mind how the accumulation of collective wisdom helps shed light on people's individual financial effectiveness. The level 0 position means that individuals are in a very bad position. Most of the times they lack basic means to survive and live, and they need to rely on parents or government supports. This stage is distinguished by a complete absence of income and, as a rule, experience in earning money at all. Sometimes, it is like movement that is stifled, where the idea of a better tomorrow feels a long way away. However, one should acknowledge the fact that this phase is not the final one, but the beginning of the process of self-improvement. A lot of people started also that way, and this time is very important as one learns on how to be strong and how to manage resources. For instance, a person might use protection or favorable additional classes to acquire competencies to be useful to the labor market in the distant future. Thus, the desire to enhance the presented industry can create pressure that triggers a flame to search for making money. In the following work, we will further discuss how the transition from this level may lead to improved financial level and financial position. The most entertaining level that one can attain is the level 1 that allows him or her to make about $1,000 per month. It's the first taste of financial freedom, and you would literally feel like you are heaving a sigh of relief. During this stage, people get an idea on how things work in managing money, and people get to understand the basics of budgeting. This additional earnings may enable them to buy some non-necessities or even save for future plans. But when it comes to this phase, they need to learn to adopt a growth mindset. For example, a person may need to find resources regarding personal finance such as the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. There are very high expectations put in regard to how we should make the right decisions in terms of money, and yet it is also a great chance to develop character. As they move through this phase, people will find out that it is as much about managing an income stream as it is about earning one. Thus, Let's move from here to examine how it is that individuals transition to a more secure earning status. For those who move to level 2 and make about $3,000 monthly, this leads to quite a confidence increase. This makes them financially more flexible. They are able to spend on small things and even start saving for bigger things. During this stage, they're often reported a feeling of safety, but, in fact, it is an adequate time for personal development and, in particular, financial. This is the time most people start looking at investing or to start saving for an emergency fund, as this is fundamental to defending oneself financially against any unpredictable costs. For instance, they could go ahead and open this youth savings account or begin investing in low-cost index such as those that are provided by Vanguard or Fidelity. This forward-looking action not only improves their income position, but also prepares them for improved existence in the future. As they master the financial decisions of their lives, they are in a position to imagine what the future might hold. That is a good place to start now that there is relatively talk of more stability. How do they shift to building more sustainable revenue generation? Reaching level 3 of per capita income of $10,000 per month can be considered as a turning point in their financial life cycle. In this level, income means more than just the amount of money to be paid. It becomes the business of sustaining a business or a promotion that is well-deserved due to hard working. In return, such changes create a closer notion between financial means and happiness among people in developing countries experiencing economic resilience. Some learn they need the money, but the focus is on what are they able to do with that money. For example, an individual might decide to buy services, for instance, going on vacation or even going to school, instead of just buying goods. Further, they may enter the phase of getting involved in charity, helping people in need, and having a care about certain causes. This stage is one of the most interesting in personal development because people have the ability to strike a balance between their pockets and their hearts. While adopting this new way of thinking, they start thinking about the ways to increase their income more and about what it means to lead a rich life. Now, let's discover the way they can raise their income comfortably as to improve the quality of the life. At level 4, where average earners gross $30,001 to $50,000 per month, the masses start to notice a status they once could not afford. It is often the case that through such incomes long-term investments in real estate and other corresponding values are possible. It reaches a stage where most individuals are in a financial capacity to purchase products and services that provide comfort in their lives. But as people gain this freedom, they find it necessary to balance with proper management of wealth. Self-improvement should go on by seeking more financial knowledge and consultation from the financial gurus. For instance, they might think of reading the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki in order to sharpen their understanding on wealth creation processes. There often is pressure to continue living in this manner. However, it also does force people to stand firm as well as makes them learn from their respective financial choices and actions. While making their money at this comfortable income bracket, they begin to think of ways to make their money work harder so that they can grow even more financially. Now let us see how this journey goes on when they want to get higher incomes. Level 5, where earners make between $100,000 and $250,000 per month, places these earners in the 1% percentile. It is considered a good income, not to mention the problems and stresses that come with this scale of earnings. As we have seen, there is a lot of money that one can make, yet the management of such wealth demands expertise in investment as well as the running of a business. At this stage, many are able to run companies and manage large portfolios, which is on one hand exciting and on the other challenging. For them to be effective, it is important that they are committed in the process of learning who they are and what they need to know in the market and other investment information. For instance, they may look at some sophisticated methods of investing such as real estate syndications or private equity funds. This economic pressure may result in stress to maintain the level of income, but at the same time there is pressure to incubate and experiment. It always gets realized that money is not the be-all and end-all of life, but rather the ability to leave the world a better place than when you entered it. When they get to this level of income, they start to think of what next step in financial planning. Let us see how these experiences made them define wealth and how they define fulfillment. As we come to the end of this initial journey discussing income classes, it is worthwhile to look at some lessons learned and think about how this knowledge can be used. Is it time to commit to change this financial scenario and start practicing towards this future? Just keep in mind that no matter what type of income you have, it's possible to find personal development and stronger character at any income level. No matter where you are today on this journey or how comfortable you may feel, There is always something more to learn and, of course, ways to make money that perhaps you didn't even consider before. For more additional tips and techniques on these ideas, be sure to check out our next video. This is only the first step to action. So, you should definitely subscribe and ring the notification bell right now so that you don't miss the next part of our series. We're starting this journey, and now it is time to achieve for a better life for everyone.